tight quarters Rotary. And there's more people coming in, and we'll just have to line them up around the wall and let them eat holding on to them. Invocation by David. Thank you.
To the Rotary prayer today. Open our eyes that we may see. Open our ears that we may hear. Touch our hearts that we may love. Clear our minds that we may think. Strengthen our hands that we may work. Amen.
Thank you, David. Major announcement for you. With the situation for Chris, and he's taken on so much. As a matter of fact, I think Chris's last day with the temple was Friday.
I have no idea.
Well, Chris is doing so much in the community, and the president-elect after Chris is Morris. We got together after the meeting last week and said, you know, it would be a good thing if we could switch and have Morris take over in July and have Chris have time ready to take over the following year. Both are in agreement, and as you can see, they're not here today.
They're both excited about it.
They must be having a special meeting. I know that Morris is up in a corporate meeting up in Raleigh, so he can't be with us. And I want to welcome those who are here for the president's meeting afterwards at Area 10. Eric's here, Elizabeth's here, and the others will be coming in, I think, for the meeting after that. Has everybody gone cover to cover with their Rotarian this month? All right. Yeah. What's the big thing in the Rotarian this month?
I think the big thing is the place already has a shelter box.
Shelter box. I mean, if you want to know how organized Shelter Box is and how much we owe Jim and his background, because as you know, for a number of years, he was the trainer for all of the people that were deployed from the States. And when you read that article about what those people go through, and Jim, I don't know.
Hardship.
Hardship, really? Yeah. What they, I think they had something like 290 applicants, and there was only 20 that were finally selected to go through for that one training group. Yeah. So it's a terrific article. I encourage you to read it and get up to date on our shelter box. Things that we need to keep in mind. The Rotary meeting, the second meeting over at the community college is going to be next Wednesday. And Patrick, do you want to say a couple things about that one?
Next Wednesday at 3 p.m. in Wilkerson Hall, room 221.
221?
Right, and Wilkerson Hall is the long building on the far end of campus, so almost it's the last building before you get to the bypass. And I come in the front door, and myself and some others will be standing out there. The club has agreed to provide pizza, and hoping someone will donate some canned drinks or some 2 liters or something that we can provide as well. So.
Okay. So, are we to bring the pizzas, or how?
I would hope so. Somebody can bring them.
Well, we can. Yeah, we can do that for you, and we'll work on how many.
I wouldn't get more than 2 right now.
Okay.
Two from Little Caesars for $5 a piece. So.
Okay. We'll get that, and then we'll bring some drinks.
That's right.
I wasn't here last week, but is that really Patrick?
Is that what?
Is that really you?
Is that really
You
what?
look like you lost about 10 years or something.
I literally ran out of the theater a while ago. I'm still wearing my tights right now, and the wig cap I just took off in the car. So.
Okay, so
Your reputation.
that's our next step, and then at the president's meeting, right after this meeting, we'll be talking about the Rotary plans even more. Beauty and the Beast. Let's bring everybody up to date with Beauty and the Beast.
Okay, the Beauty and the Beast. Tomorrow is the last day that you can sign up to attend the Beauty and the Beast with the Rotarians up in the balcony. We're going to start, the production starts at 7:30. The food, the drinks, and desserts start at 6 o'clock. So if you have not signed up, please go to the box office and tell Anna that you want to participate in the Rotary affair in the balcony and pay her $22, and you will be able to be part of us. And we're gonna have a good time up there. Because Beauty and the Beast is gonna be the most outstanding thing that has been happening here in the last 10 years.
It's a great article.
Yes,
I agree. If I have to wear tights, you should have to come. And they're underneath blue jeans right now because I didn't have time.
You wanna cancel mine, please?
And if you have season tickets, they do not count. You have to just $22. This is the reduced rate that Peggy's given all of us to attend this performance, and it's next Friday, the 27th. Now, on the 29th, there's also a tea party for the children. It's the Steel Pig, and you have to go to the temple just to sign up to go to that. It's $25 each child.
Okay, 10.
$5 worth of
It includes a ticket, right, okay. So that's good for those that have children, grandchildren. So, and then after each day, there's an opportunity for children to have photographs taken with the Beauty and the Beast.
Now, there's a sign-up sheet for desserts going around.
That's it. Now, this is the sign up for desserts, but there's no reason for you to sign up if you're not going. So only those that are going.
Oh, yeah, no, we'll come by and pick it up.
Okay, sure. We'll start right here.
And the other thing is, I believe, even though we've got a cutoff for tomorrow, as long as Peggy doesn't sell all the seats that are turned over tomorrow immediately, you can probably, in a last minute, call and still get the 22 pass next week.
Yeah,
But I wouldn't risk it.
Starting on Monday, or even Saturday, they're going to be starting to fill up that balcony. So if you're serious about wanting to go, you need to call the box office.
Okay, thanks, Yvonne. John's next door with the real estate group, so the block party follows that. That's Saturday in the morning, and then after that, we do dodgeball in the afternoon. Busy folks. And then the following week is the Belks Charity Day, and Rita, do you have the information on that?
That's right, from 6 in the morning till 10 a.m. on Saturday the 5th of May, which is Cinco de Mayo. We are selling the charity sale. The tickets are $5. We get the money in Rotary, and the person who uses it at Belks that day gets to redeem a coupon for that day. So basically, we get the money back, and Rotary makes them. So I have them for sale right now, and I have a little, special book for that, but it's from 6 to 10 a.m.
I got my 4 tickets last week.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a really good deal. And then I think we get a portion only of the sales for the day. But you have to be there, so Rita, we appreciate you representing us so that we do get that portion. Everybody knows about I Love Beach Music for Arts and Vine that will be coming up on the 12th. And that's a terrific event for the whole community. Kevin, thanks for doing the program for us the other day about that. And we'll definitely have a lot of people there to have the wine, the food, the dancing, the rest. Okay, here's a question for you. Every year for the last several years, we've been involved with Edwards School when they do the military concert. It's a great thing that they do for the military families of Edwards. And it started at the school, but there were so many connections with the military families, they had to move it, and it's now over, they're gonna have it, I think, at your building, I think. Or, no, maybe it's a high school. Anyway, it's on the 16th of May, and I can't be there, because Grace and I are probably gonna be out of town. So if you've participated in this before, or you would like to do it again, please see me, because we've got to let Nicole know in the next day or so, the music director at the school, whether we're gonna participate or she's gotta go find somebody else to do the colors, to present the colors and help usher. So I would like to have our club involved in it, but David, would you be around for that?
I think so.
Would you?
Yeah, I don't think I did it last year.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I could call her and tell her that you'll see if you can recruit. I think maybe it'd be a good thing if she did get the colors from one of the school groups.
Yeah.
You know, ROTC or something. And then we could
Are you
help.
kidding? Was that still the group we had last year?
Well, I know.
Beat that.
A couple of times we fell and the flag went down. So,
That was up to me first.
okay. And we're doing Edwards Character Plus next Tuesday with the kids. And that's the last one that we're going to have this year at Edwards. And Bill has been working on the t-shirts, but we won't have them in time for the kids on Tuesday. So we'll probably do something for their field day that they have in May, and go out and present the 150 t-shirts for Character Plus. Okay, where's Van? Counting money. Van, or are we?
Jeremy,
Jeremy.
hey, Jeremy, you need to give Jeremy credit because he's the one that did all the work. I didn't do it.
Our sergeant in ours for the day is Jeremy. Oh, here.
Good afternoon, everybody. Big crowd today. We have a few visitors. Molly Jensen, Jesse Neal, Trey Williams, guest is David Morse. Welcome, Trey. Kelly Miller, guest of the club. Hey, Kelly. And Kevin Brown, where did he go?
He's right back.
Oh, hey, Kevin. Good to have you back. And we got some visiting Rotarians, Eric Andrews from the Pittsburgh,
Yeah, President Brisbane.
and Elizabeth Zoran. Nice to have you, Elizabeth. Did I miss anybody? Any announcements? About the bride?
Dodgeball,
Dodgeball
Yeah.
on Saturday.
April 28th, since Chris is not here, dodgeball tournament. Please sign up, we want to get 40 teams.
Yeah, he had about 30.
Yes, so dodgeball, he's not here, I'll stay for it. So, April 28th.
Yeah.
$50 a team. Is that what it is? $50 a team?
For a team, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we got team heads.
I've got a brag, I guess. All right, so I'm from the Sanford City Club. I got tickets for the cash raffle, which is the first Saturday in May. If you need some or want some, let me know. Let's go.
Rita, would you hand that down to
You're supposed to keep that one.
Elizabeth?
Any other brags for the day? Jim?
I have a half brag, half announcement. After the shelter box item in the Rotarian this month, I just got notice from Shelter Box in the UK that they have been nominated as one of the finalists for the Nobel Peace Prize this year.
Would you be going to help accept that?
Right.
How many finalists are there?
I don't have any idea. All I know is that
5.
we've been, we made the cut.
Good.
They did that.
Can we vote? Can we just,
Can we vote?
like The Voice, vote 10?
It's just a great feather in your cap just to be in the same.
Oh, absolutely.
Jim, I think they opened up a new brewery over there. I'll go with you.
Well, at the district conference, we need to make a big deal out of that, the nomination. That's wonderful.
Any other brags?
I got one.
Oh, there must be.
David?
We found $1.
You can put 10.
As of today, my son-in-law's Camelback Brewery will start brewing their first batch. He hopes to be open in about a month. It takes about a month to get brewed finished. So
All that testing.
That's right. We'll have a tasting party.
We have a tasting party in June, ladies and gentlemen.
Offside,
Our June
offside.
social.
And has everybody signed the card for Janice Davis's mother? Well, it's Janice Lambert now, I think that's her last name. But Janice's mother passed away, and that's one of the reasons Janice came back to town, I think, because she wanted to look after her mother. And Janice remarried, obviously, and moved to Pinehurst. But just to acknowledge that, you know, it's a tough loss for her. And I think it'd be nice if you get a chance to sign the card for her. And then I'll take care of getting it to her. Charles, thank you for getting the card for us.
Any other brags?
I'll brag. Don't know about to shoot me for this one, but I'm gonna brag about Jonesboro Rotary because I provided the program the other day, and they were very welcoming to me and another person from the college as we provided their program on Tuesday. So same chicken on Tuesday, just as good as now. They welcomed us with open arms, and it was a good program.
I thought you were going to brag on me because I got everybody out of here before 1 o'clock last week.
I only will if you do it today.
I'm bragging on Sheriff Tracy Carter and his Citizen Appreciation Day. Our grandkids were down last weekend, and we weren't quite sure, you know, what to do and everything. So we went over to his place first, even though we had eaten lunch at home. But they had all kinds of food there. They had bounce houses. The kids actually got some of their wiggles out. They had their mobile command center on display, and I've never seen so many people walking around with guns on them. They had, obviously, every deputy in both the sheriff and police department were there. And then also we went downtown afterwards for the street fair. Yeah. And that was fantastic too.
Yeah. See, we know.
And I tell you what, Larry, I'll throw out a dollar brag for Kelly, who put the whole thing together, sitting right beside you.
On the team that put that
But
whole
led.
thing together.
So Kelly led the whole thing.
Yeah,
She's
Yes.
Any other brags?
Thank you.
All right, Larry.
Okay,
If I
talking about,
had $1, I would have, I barely got here. If I had $1, I would be bragging on David for playing at the Street Fest. Fantastic job. Loved it. Oh, take Larry's $1. Sorry, I didn't even bring a wallet.
Larry, hurry up, your pocket's ticking.
Hey, Larry.
yeah, no, I'm not giving you a 20.
I got it, Larry.
Thanks, guys.
That's a good fumble,
It
Fred.
is.
What a magnanimous president.
Next.
Okay, introduce the
Thank you.
speaker, get on.
Okay. This is fun today because Kelly and Kevin are with us to do a Sister Cities program, but the reason this is developing is because of the connection that Rotary has had with Mexico since about 2004. And to give you a little bit of background about it, we saw a request from the Action Group of Population and Development for medical equipment for a clinic in Mexico City. And we responded to that, and consequently the information came back from Mexico City with the key people to be in touch with and how to make it happen. So we did a $10,000, because matching grants at that time were relatively small, $10,000 matching grant. But more importantly, we found real friends in District 4170 in the Los Torres Satellite Club and made a connection with them that is really life-lasting. And because of the community realizing that Rotary has had this connection, and we've done 27 grants with that group in Mexico City in 4170, and we've had exchange visits back and forth. Jan Hayes called and said, do you think we could expand this a bit and get sister cities started with the group down there? And so for the last month and a half, maybe a little bit longer, we've been working on that. And it's coming to fruition, and Kelly's going to tell us about it in a second. But David, who experienced firsthand with Carolyn when he went down on a team with us in 2009?
2008.
2008. Could you tell a little bit about your experience there?
Yeah. Well, to add to what Larry said, we were there. Carolyn and I went down as a part of the Rotary. You know, Larry was with us, of course, and we just developed a real strong bond with the group of Rotarians that we actually stayed in their homes. We didn't stay in a hotel, so we were with them 24 hours a day, and every day we would go out. We identified that 10 days or so we were there. We identified 8 projects, grants, that were eventually funded by Rotary International, and since that time we've just, you know, we're friends on Facebook. We stay in regular communication with one another. Carlos is coming up in a couple of weeks, and I'm sure he'll be here at Rotary, you know, that week or early May. But it's just, and Carlos has been district governor of his Rotary district, and he is so well connected that this Sister City program, he can just call friends and get stuff done just like that. And I'm sure Kelly will speak about that a little bit. But it's just a great and easy kind of transition for this to happen. Otherwise, you may be waiting a year or 2 years to try to get everybody connected and get the paperwork done. And with Carlos and this group of Rotarians that we know and their connections where they live down there, this is going to happen, you know, like within a month or two. So
yeah.
Anyway, can't wait to hear what Kelly's got to say.
And the result of it, I think, is going to be a multitude of exchanges between the two countries. And Bill, I'm sure it fit perfectly for the Cooperative Extension Center for some of those trips, because there are about agriculture, economic development, that sort of thing. So we're excited about it, and I'm really proud of the fact that the way this has been put together is because of Rotary. When you think about all the things that Rotary can connect to, this is just one, but it's going to be a major one. And Kelly, can I turn to you and Kevin for comments from you on Sister City? Now, this all got going.
I'm gonna stand over here if you want to.
Okay, I'm gonna be over here.
So, as Larry said, my name is Kelly Miller. I'm the Public Information Officer for the City of Sanford, and I'm also a member of the Sister Cities Association of Sanford. And this is Kevin Brown, who, yes, is the treasurer of the Sister Cities Association of Sanford. So we make up two of the 4 members of our current board, along with Bill Horner and Jan Hayes. So it's a small group. The association side is sort of just getting started, and we are building up some momentum. But we started several years ago with a committee that was formed of different business and community leaders. Bud is on that committee, and I'm not sure who else here is on that committee, but several council members, the mayor, school board. We had lots of different people from different parts of the business and civic community come together and talk about ways that we could reach out. And so I just want to go over that process with you, and then we can talk about what we're looking at moving forward with Mexico, because it's going to be a completely different process and what we have been through already. So, I didn't bring a clicker.
I hate that you have to hold that like that.
I'm happy behind a laptop. Okay. So in 2014, Mayor Mann, along with a delegation that included J.D. Williams, who was council member represented for Ward 3, and Sam Gaskins, council member for Ward 1, Bob Joyce, who represented our Economic Development Commission at the time, still does, of course, but he was there on behalf of the Sanford Area Growth Alliance because part of these relationships, the goal is economic development opportunities. So those three, along with Frank Proctor, who lives in China, and Kirk Bradley, all went to China in 2014 to establish an official sister city relationship with Yijing, which is about 100 miles east of Shanghai. So
She means west.
west. I can't. Did
The
you
other
see me
east.
try?
Yeah.
Did you see me try to do it?
You do.
East would be wet.
Well, you must know where Shanghai is. That's a good start. So, one of the things that we did with this relationship, a big feather in our cap, is that it took us about a year to establish this relationship from start to finish. And we were approached by the Carolina China Council because Eugene was looking for a city to partner with. They wanted a city in North Carolina. And so how did they get to Sanford? Through the Confucius Classroom. So that was the connection that we had. And there is a city in Hayward, California, also came in October 2014 to sign their agreement. It took them 7 years. It took us 1 year. So it was fast, we thought, and we were able to really lock that in because we had so many connections that were already established back and forth. We had wonderful help from the college with translation, so everything was really smooth, and we thought, okay, a year, that's great, it feels short, wait till you hear about Mexico. So then, that was the official signing in 2015. We sent a second delegation that included our resident potter, Mr. Brown, who went over and actually exhibited pottery. North Cole Pottery was on exhibit in the ceramics festival. So another connection that we share with them is they are the ceramics capital of China, and we are the pottery. We have our pottery heritage, pottery capital of our state. And while we have a couple hundred years of pottery, they have a couple thousand. So it was very interesting and very neat, a source of pride for us to have our art on display beside potters who have, they've been there forever, and you're looking at 1,000-year-old pieces of art next to our 100 years pieces of art. So this is just some pictures from our first delegation. They were part of a large sister city signing convention. So there were people from all over the world who came in to Wuxi, China, to sign these agreements. So this is in Wuxi, and then they also then traveled to Yijing. This picture is from our second delegation, and you can see in the picture Mr. Byron Buckles, who is our representative for Ward 4. You can also see Tom Snell, and Kevin, where were you in that picture?
The far left.
So I can't see you from here.
So
You see him?
Sam
Y'all see him?
Gaskins, Rebecca Whitehouse, Rebecca Salmon.
No, in the top picture with the artists. That first top picture was taken at the Ceramics Festival. So you can see there were people from all over. And it was really, Kevin, can you just talk a little bit about that experience?
It was an international festival, so there were worldwide representation. We were the only United States representative in the show. My wife and I have operated pottery for 27 years here in town. Sandy Cole, of all the Cole potters, she's 9th generation. In fact, in pottery circles, I'm known as Sandy Cole's husband. That's not as good as it gets to me. But so we went over there, and that was the scope of my charge, was an art liaison. The sister city projects range from economic development, philanthropic activities, and of course the exchange of culture and ideas, that it's interesting, some people wonder, you know, they question the importance of art, and, you know, even since we were kids, you know, going through history class, really the three pillars of history are really all about conquest, innovation, and art. It's just that important, and it's nice to see the art curriculum returning back to the school systems. You know, it took a shot there for a couple of decades, and is only now rebounding again. It's a, you know, being there, besides our handlers, being at the ceramics festival, you know, the people that were there with me, we couldn't communicate other than just through what was behind us with our displays. And this Korean kid came up to me, well, kid, I mean, I don't know, 20 or 30, he was a kid. But he came up and he pointed at our things and, you know, gave it a thumbs up, and we shook hands, and he was just a couple away, and he pointed over there at his, and it was amazing work. But, you know, that it just goes to art as a language. It's about you're born with an appreciation on some level for the language of art. It's not something that needs to be taught. It's there, and right from your first days. And it was an amazing opportunity, and as we develop the Sister City program and expand into a T-Span, hopefully, you know, the relationship is built first. First you become friends, as you all well know through your own dealings down there. It's about friendship and relationship. But as we get to know each other, you know, then who knows where things go from there. Yeah, economic development, that kind of expansion through the change of those kinds of ideas, but a really nice opportunity to get together and share the arts. When Carlos visits, I'm hoping he's going to be here in the neighborhood of the festival that we'll have on the 12th, and he can come out and see some art and you know, play along with us for the beach concert. But that's what I'm hoping. You know, that'll be the capacity of my responsibility. Will be, you know, the exchange of art. I'm excited about that.
So you can also see in this picture, this delegation visited Duke Kunshan University. This is a Duke satellite university. So we, in addition to the art exchange, we also see the possibility for educational exchanges. So we looked at where in this region is there a college, technical college, vocational college, whatever kind of college can we connect with, so that then our CCCC campus can benefit from these relationships as well. And so this delegation traveled to Duke Kunshan, and they met with the president of the university and had a wonderful discussion about the opportunities that lie there. You can see in this bottom picture, they also learned a little bit more about how the area potters there make their art. We thought it maybe came out of a form or something, because it's so smooth and you can't see any edges, but they do it by hand. So that was fascinating to me, to see the difference between the way we both do manipulate the same substance. It was fascinating.
And
I didn't see it because I wasn't there.
And that's just not something sidelined. Yixing considers themselves the pottery capital of billions.
And they make teapots.
And everywhere you go, in every public hotels, city buildings, whatever the case may be, it's just littered with displays of hundreds of teapots. And it's gift giving, it's friendship building, it's just every part of everyday life and conversation.
You can see teapots that were gifted to us in the City Hall lobby. We do have a display of these teapots if you'd like to see them. So just to show you, Sadie Cole made this large face jug, which was presented to the mayor of Yixing and is on display in their municipal building.
Those were the only faces in the whole international affair. People were hanging around and taking pictures, and they're just not used to seeing that sort of thing.
In that top picture, you see Rebecca Wyhoff handing a piece of pottery to the mayor. That came from a Southern Lee High School student. We did tried to gift as many pieces of student art as we could to showcase that the arts tradition is alive in our schools as well. And they were very impressed and a little, I think, emotional about it, and how wonderful it is, these wonderful pieces of art, and that our students are learning. So it really was a great visit for them.
Calvin, did you donate your pottery to them, or did you?
We did. There were several faces, you know, the largest one for the mayor, and then in descending order for lesser dignitaries, and we even brought just pockets full. Byron and Sam and Rebecca and I had miniatures. Sandy did a bunch of miniatures, so that we would just, if somebody came up on the street or something, and we just hand them a miniature. And, in fact, I buried one in a city park. You know, Sandy's minis, they're all over the world. They're from Stonehenge to California. They're just everywhere when friends or family or acquaintances go visiting. So Tom and I were standing around, and we looked around because I didn't want to find myself in a Chinese jail. So I just dug a little hole like the squirrel and popped the miniature and then covered it up with the ground. But yeah, the Dennis Simon from the Kunshan campus, everybody that we came in contact with had a faith joke for them.
Gift giving is a large part of the culture, so we made sure to have gifts officially, and then they also knew that it's for us, people-to-people diplomacy is more important than we're sister cities, or so we try to connect as people first, and so I think that was the best way to do it, that icebreaker.
That's why the marriage between, when Jan initially called Larry, we're so excited to be able to work with y'all. It's a different title to the process, but you're all doing the same thing, and we're really looking forward to the opportunities coming up. I saw Larry looking at his watch just when
This is just, we talked about this a lot already, so I'm gonna advance through this. So our next sister city that we have initiated the process with is Atizapan, Mexico, and that is through your relationship with the Las Torres Satellite Club. So we have, we started by, we were talking about where should we go next, how do we get the public excited for this initiative. China is China, it's difficult, it's a challenge to communicate based on language, based on custom, based on tradition. So we talked about, Jan actually said, well, Larry's group goes somewhere in Mexico, let's talk to them. And from that has come this wonderful relationship that is so easy. And the relationship that you guys already have has really paved the way for us. So whereas I thought a year for China was amazing, we're looking at maybe, like you said, a month, 2 months maybe, before we get a delegation to visit us in Sanford, which is a big benefit to the program. So Atizapan, Mexico, just to give you an idea, is very similar to Sanford in many ways. They have an airport like we do. They have a thriving arts community. You can see some public art, number 16 in that, down towards the bottom. They have a lot of public art, a good emphasis on that. They have a hospital system. So there's a lot of things we have in common. One thing we do not have in common is size. Eugene was almost 1 million people. Atizapan is something like 500,000. So it's still huge, but it's a little bit smaller. Yeah, there's some golf down there.
I saw the golf, that's excellent.
So if you look at Mexico City is where the red teardrop is. Atizapan is just to the north and east. East is me. I'm on the east. I'm to the east. My bad. So I'm not a map maker. Not a map maker. I just write the words. That's all I do. So I can tell you would probably go north, and then you figure it out with road signs. So it's pretty close. It's very close. We had originally talked about a different city, Naucalpan, which is right underneath Atizapan, but it worked out better. And Carlos has that strong relationship with the government officials there. So we amended our plan because basically it's a Rotary to Rotary relationship rather than in addition to a Sanford to that city relationship. We wanted to go where the Rotary felt they were most comfortable and it had the strongest framework. And they actually call this twinning instead of being a sister city, and they have done it before. So it's wonderful to have that. We are not introducing them to this concept, and they have a framework for it. So you've seen this. These are just pictures of you guys. That's it. And some pictures of them. And that's just if you would like to be a member, we do offer memberships. But that is my spiel. Do you have any questions? Thank you, Oscar. I didn't get to talk about the
we're still working on the details, and there's been notes being exchanged from Chet Man to all the officials down there in Mexico to get this finalized. But the hope is that they will come with a delegation of up to 5-6 people sometime the afternoon of the 6th of May. And the first 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, are going to be devoted to letting them know, let the team know from Mexico what there is to offer here in Sanford. And of course, Carlos and his wife Martha, who we hope is coming too, knows quite a bit about it. But the people that are from the governmental agencies that will be involved in this need to get more of a background so they know what we're doing. And then, so we finished that on Wednesday, and then Thursday and Friday, Carlos is planning to be with us, come to this meeting, go to a district dinner that's that night, and we'll do some more planning on some things like global grants, and there's a lot of things that we have to exchange when he comes up here. And then on Saturday, we're hoping that they don't have to go back until Sunday, so they get a chance to come to the festival as well. So it couldn't be better. I mean, we just, we're really pleased to be part of this process. And I think it's just marvelous, as I said earlier, the way Rotary just opens doors to so many things. And you'll hear a lot more about it. And we'll probably have an agenda, as soon as we know for sure about the timing, we'll develop an agenda and share that with you probably at our next meeting. So if there are no questions,
We won't have a meeting next Thursday, right?
no meeting next Thursday because we're going to a play on Friday. And we'll send a note out, just like John did today, reminding everybody about the meeting here. Good. Now, everybody say goodbye to Patrick because he's leaving early. Bye, Patrick. So let me thank those that are here as guests. Molly, thank you very much for coming. Ray, thank you for being here. Obviously, Kevin. And Kelly, it's neat to have you here, and I'm sure you're going to be winding up coming back a lot of times. Did I miss anybody? Oh, yeah, Eric and Elizabeth, thank you for coming. And we have to try to find our other compatriots for our meeting after 1 o'clock. How about drawing for the 50-50?
Yes, today we raised $74 for Polio Plus, half of it to go to Polio Plus and half of it go to the winner, $37. And Larry, you didn't buy a ticket today. Why don't you pick one of those little babies out here?
Yeah, I didn't have any money.
I was gonna I can get change for that 20. I saw you. I was gonna work you, but
Here you go. Here you go.
oh shoot! Now I gotta read it. Okay. All right, and the winner is lucky ticket number holder 9013.
Right here.
Woo! Bye,
And who was sitting?
There you are, sir.
I don't remember who was sitting beside
Ron.
me. Ron Hewitt. Ron won. He said, donate it back to the polio.
Yeah.
Club.
Oh, wow. Okay. Hey, let's give them a big round of applause.
This thing, I'm sure you're going to be a major part, Oscar, of this visit when they come up, because one of the reasons we thought it would be a wonderful connection is your El Refugio and your connection with the community college. So you'll be on the agenda for sure.
We'll be glad to be part of it.
Thank you for being
You
here.
have 1 minute to get prayers for him.
You've got 59 seconds.
Molly, stick your hand in the bucket, pull out
You're a smart girl. Wait a minute.
dig in there and pick around there and find us $100 winner for the day. It's Judy and Craig Patterson, Van Sullivan's.
No way, man.
Says van.
Okay, great.
All right.
The money's gotta get to them, Van.
Special thanks to Mr. Spivey, who added 10 more tickets to the bin today. Thank you for all who have contributed in today, and we're 724 and growing. Thank you.
Okay, and so we're gonna close with a four-way test, which is gonna be David.
Okay. The four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. First, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, 15 seconds to spare.